It's the Cool Kids Club. You've been invited to the Cool Kids Club. It's so exciting, yeah. Justin likes monsters, yeah. And Amy likes words in the Cool Kids Club. Cool Kids Club.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Cool Kids Club. I feel like I need to tell you I'm coming to you from a brand new microphone. I feel like I need to say that, immediately.
A new microphone?
A new microphone? I also can't get my bangs to lay right, so Justin gets to look at me fidgeting with my bangs for the next hour on Zoom.
Yay.
You're welcome. Guys, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Finally.
We're finally doing the year in cool.
We're the year. Oh my God, we're in that week, the week in between right now. Christmas was a couple days ago. New Year's is coming up. And time is just a blur for me right now.
Time is a flat circle. And it's meaningless.
I don't know what
no
day of the week
idea.
it is. I don't
Forget
really know.
knowing the date. I have no idea what the date. Yeah.
No,
no idea.
No, I'm deep in it this week. I'm deep in the malaise.
Do you have because we're going to be speaking of movies and TV and all kinds
We
of
will
good
be
stuff.
speaking of
in
them.
this we will be speaking of them.
Of
So
which we will be
speaking of
speaking.
that, these bangs.
It's
So
going to
we'll
make
be
for a
speaking of
great
them.
podcast where no one can see you but me.
No, in fact, here I'm just gonna put this hair clip.
We're going live on Instagram so everyone can see my bangs.
See how terrible my bangs are. No, you're gonna have to look at this insanity the whole episode. But you've seen worse.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Anyway,
What I'm trying to say is, do you have plans, like TV movie plans, for this last week of the year? Because I love to use this last bit of the year to try to catch up on some stuff I maybe missed throughout the year. So I was just curious if you have plans for that.
well, not like a real plan. Like I kind of have an idea of some stuff I would like to watch. Like we watched The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, the Wes Anderson.
Oh yeah, was that any good?
It was very, very good. Yeah.
Kind of a short. Yeah,
It's like 40 minutes
Okay,
long.
cool.
It's got Benedict Cumberbatch in it. We watched that. That was very good. And
Bandersnatch.
Yes, correct.
Bandicoot. Yeah.
Today we watched, what was it called? April? Hi, April! What was that movie called? Leave the World Behind.
Oh, did you guys like it?
Well, April had seen it already. But I hadn't, and she slept through most of it. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like it. I really enjoyed the book. So I think I maybe liked it a little more because I already had a good basis for the story.
I read someone that described it as edging the movie, and I thought that was really apt. It's just constant tension. Oh my God.
It is constant. The tension is relentless.
Relentless, yeah.
It
was pretty good. It was pretty good.
constant.
I don't know if that's one I would revisit, but it was.
I probably won't watch it again.
It was a good lazy
so
week between holidays watch for sure.
Sure.
And tonight, actually, when we're done here, we are going to start, and I guarantee we'll not finish, Killers of the Flower Moon. So I'll have to report back to you on that one. But I've been looking forward to it. We're getting takeout.
Is that streaming somewhere?
Yes, it is. Well, it's up to rent or buy. I don't think it's on a service, but you can.
I see.
Yeah, you can rent it.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Ooh, where are you getting takeout from? Tijuana's?
No, actually, we just got a Jersey Mike's in town, a New Jersey Michael's.
A New Jersey Michael's?
Yeah, we're getting some sandwiches.
Do other people do that? Have you heard other people from other areas of the world call it New Jersey Michael's?
No, I've only ever heard you do it, but I do it, and that gets a laugh sometimes.
Yeah. Well, now I feel like we're gonna, and it's gonna get the Cool Kids Club boost And everybody's going to be calling it New Jersey Michaels.
Next thing you know, they're changing the name of the company. It's technically
like
KFC
Dunkin'
now.
dropped the
Kentucky
donuts.
Fried Chicken. Or Dunkin' dropped the donuts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I understand they sell more than donuts, but like, what's the end game there?
I don't know. It's a pretty. I mean, I guess it didn't really change.
It's cleaner.
All that much. Yeah. It's.
I'm still gonna call it the Dunk.
The Dunk.
The Dunk.
Hey, I don't.
You
know
also
what.
just got a Dunk in town. Listen, we're just catching up. The people love this.
It's right next to the Jersey Mikes. Hey.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
What the fuck are we doing? Yeah. Let me make sure I'm still recording because I just got really anxious all of a sudden. Oh, good. We're 10 minutes. Well, we're not 10 minutes into the podcast. I'm 10 minutes into my recording, and we're just going to talk about our topic for today. Justin, what's the year in cool? Why did I do that hand gesture? Tell me.
Because you're cool. Well, the year in cool is a year in review episode, basically. We're going to look at the biggest of the year.
But not this year.
No, fuck this year. Like, I'm not doing that for anything within really the last, 20 years.
No, thank you.
But I will do it for 1993, a banner year. And so that's what we're going to do today.
It was a really good year.
A good year all around, like the blimp.
That's right. Now, why did we decide 1993?
Because it was
this just
30 years ago.
It was 30 years.
We were going to do it last year, as you recall, and we were going to do 1992 because it was 30 years.
Yeah. And then our mom had to go and have a medical emergency. It's really... She's doing great, guys. Love you, Mom. So we weren't able to do that last year, and so we decided, come back this year and do a year in cool. So what are we going to talk about in this episode? We're going to talk about movies from 1993.
So I just kind of wanted to look at like pop culture, what were current events at the time. Mm-hmm. And I think so I broke it down into a couple different categories. We've got movies.
Yeah.
We've got television.
Of course, yeah.
And then we're gonna veer off into territory we've not really gotten into on the show here. We're gonna veer off. I don't really know what that sound was.
No.
I was going for a screeching tire, and it didn't happen like I wanted it to.
Oh, well, that's okay.
But we're gonna veer off into news. What was going on in the news? Breaking news.
Breaking news from 1993. Why does anybody listen to this?
I really, truly don't know. And
it's not after work, but it is 6:22 p.m.
It is, and I haven't had my New Jersey Michaels yet.
No, it's Cool Kids Club nights. Yeah, so we're going to talk about news, so newsworthy things that were happening.
How about two categories we don't touch on a lot on this?
Yeah.
News we don't really talk about ever.
No.
And the next one's sports.
Sports ball.
God damn, I hate
we've talked.
Say that shit. Sports ball. I'm so cool. I'm so hip.
Well, I was saying it in a very dorky way, if that helps. I was not saying it in a...
Everything you say is in a really dorky way.
Fuck you.
Ya Bart!
Ya Bart! We're going to talk about sports. Which, we don't talk about very often because neither of us are...
of the athletic persuasion.
Well, neither of us were athletic, and we didn't really watch sports. Like, I'd get into the Olympics and stuff, but, we just, But there was a lot going on in sports in the 90s. Huge, huge stuff. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to end out the episode talking about some music. There's a lot going on in 1993.
Music of the year. It was a really, really good year. And if you were, of a particular age, which is, I feel like, a little older than us, maybe if you were, in high school or college at the time.
Like an older millennial or Gen X, yeah.
Yeah, 93 is kind of a banner year for music. There was a lot going on. But
and we will get into why.
To why? Well, let's dive into some movies.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
Yeah, so Justin, there are some great movies that came out in 1993, and I have to say, one of the top 10 box office hits for the year we have done on Movie Club.
We have.
Yeah.
So I got a couple stats, some different stats from '93. First, I got the domestic box office top 10. Sure. And then I went and did the Academy Awards for that year. So actually, 1992, but like who won? Who won the major?
Right, but who won
the major awards?
The major awards,
at the Academy Awards that year, and then because there's some really great ones in the box office top 10, but then there's also a lot of dad movies. And I was like, there's so many other great movies that came out. So kind of like an others, like, worth mentioning. Yeah. And a lot of it's kid movies that were, like, successful, but they're not in the top 10 highest grossing movies.
I am looking at this top 10 domestic box office list, and the dads of 93 were living it up. You are right.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
At least, like, 6 of these.
Let's do a countdown. From 10 to 1. The top 10 highest grossing, and this is really just kind of everything is pretty U.S. central. So,
yeah.
This is domestic box office, but the worldwide box office was pretty similar. I looked that up too.
Sure. And we obviously aren't gonna. We have so much to cover. We're not gonna talk at length about all of these. But
we're not.
Yeah,
I'm gonna talk for 2 hours about synopsis? Number 10, A Few Good Men. Because
I'll tell you what, this episode will not be ready in 2 days.
Right, well...
Never seen it.
A Few Good Men,
This is literally just going to be me going, I've never seen that.
Never seen that. Okay, yeah, I saw A Few Good Men one time years ago, but I don't remember a whole lot about it.
Okay.
Now,
was
number
it with
9...
Dad?
Almost certainly.
Sure. Yeah.
Number 9 is...
Number 9.
Fucking Cliffhanger. Now,
another dad movie,
and
we don't mean just our dad, by the way.
I mean Universal. Dads. Just
dads. Yeah, dads of 1993.
Dads are living large. We got A Few Good Men. We got Cliffhanger, Stallone, Lithgow. I mean, that's. How could you go wrong? I really do love Cliffhanger.
I have never seen that.
Well, talk about number 8 because I know you've seen that one.
Well. That would
didn't even come out in 93. It came out in like October, November 92, I want to say.
That's true. It did. Yeah. But it made the top box office. Damn, it was really crushing it. Yeah, Aladdin's at number 8. Another dad movie coming in number 7, In the Line of Fire.
In the Line of Fire.
Is this is that like a Harrison Ford? I can't even like imagine what that one is.
In the Line of Fire is a Clint Eastwood movie. A early 90s like spy political thriller.
Okay, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Prime dad movie material.
Yeah, and our dad specifically loved Clint Eastwood. So
yes, and now I did watch it.
Actually, this is a very big year for Clint Eastwood. We'll talk why later. It is a big year
for Clint Eastwood. Now I have seen In the Line of Fire, and it is pretty good. It's got John Malkovich in it. He's the bad guy.
Okay, now that you're saying that, I feel like I've seen like the last half of that on TV before, because like maybe in the last 5 years.
Okay.
Because now that you're saying it,
that feels like a movie that would be on Pluto every day.
Every
single day.
Just 24 hours of In the Line of Fire.
Yes. Dad movies on Pluto.
God, why is that not a channel?
God, that really is a good idea. Yes, number 6, Indecent Proposal. Now, this I have never seen.
I have never seen, but well, wait. I'm getting this confused with Basic Instinct.
No, Indecent Proposal. Indecent Proposal is the one with Demi Moore and Woody Harrelson and Robert Redford. The thing where he like offers them so much money to sleep with for one night with his wife.
Oh, that's fucked up. Is she that good?
Well, it's Demi Moore in 90. It's Demi Moore in 93. So you tell me.
Well, this was pre-shaving her head, so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
well,
I guess. Number 5, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
Terrible. Mrs.
Now,
Doubtfire.
This is one we'll get to on the show eventually.
Scottish.
You have gone Scottish.
Surely. Yeah,
we'll get to Doubtfire. We'll get to Doubtfire.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. A Stone Cold classic.
Oh, yeah. Also, just, like, how fucking weird, though. Like, if you think about the plot at all.
Oh, yeah, it's bizarre.
Real fucking weird. Yeah, it's really bizarre. And Sally Field just plays it very straight. Anyway.
God bless her.
God bless her. Number 4, you have Sleepless in Seattle. I'm imagining you have not seen this.
You would imagine wrong, Amy. I have seen Sleepless in
Really?
Seattle.
Okay.
Now, I did just watch it in the last couple years. I watch all kinds of stuff.
I know. That just didn't seem like something that probably would have been high on your radar.
April and I got on a kick with some like classic romantic comedies a couple years ago. And,
that's right. That's right. You did like a February romantic comedies. Yeah.
That was one of the ones we watched.
Yeah. I have only seen it once, and I was probably in high school. So it's definitely due for a rewatch.
I think I like You've Got Mail better.
Okay. Now, I did watch that again at Christmas.
What do the people think? What do you think? November. What do you think, people? Do you prefer Sleepless in Seattle or You've Got Mail? I think I prefer You've Got Mail.
Okay. Do you like the techie, or do you just like how like autumnal and like, wintry and
all of the above? And it's a remake of Shop Around the Corner, which is a great movie.
Right.
So
it is great. You've got you're coming in hot.
We're not done with the dad movies. The dad movies are only intensifying.
I feel like the number 1 is an everybody movie, but it is also a dad movie.
Correct. It can be an everyone movie and a dad movie.
Yeah. It can. But the number 3 and number 2 are definite dad movies. What do we got here at number 3?
Well, we've got The Firm. And The Firm
now, that is Harrison Ford, right?
That is not Harrison Ford.
I just assume he's in all of these.
He's it's safe to assume he's in all of these types of movies.
Oh, no, this is
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
This is Tom Cruise.
And never seen this.
Oh my gosh! And I'm looking at the cast right now. Listen to this dad movie cast. I love it. Okay, so you got Tom Cruise and Gene Triplehorn. I've never seen this, by the way. Gene Hackman. Okay. Hell yeah. Hal Holbrook.
God, that's very.
There's maybe no bigger dad actor than Hal Holbrook. Wilford Brimley, Ed Harris.
I was just gonna.
Gary Busey.
This is a very dad movie, and it's based on a John Grisham novel. That's like the number 1 thing that makes a dad movie.
Yes.
Isn't our number 2 movie also based on a John Grisham novel? Now that has Harrison Ford. You can't tell me it doesn't.
That definitely does. It's The Fugitive, and The Fugitive absolutely is fantastic. It's
never seen it.
What? Amy!
I'm also trying to see if this is based on a John Grisham novel.
There was an old TV show. The Fugitive.
Oh.
Is that Barbara Bush?
You've got to...
The Fugitive was a very famous TV show. Granted, it is a very old show, but yeah.
Okay. Well, I just never knew that.
Okay.
But you got to give it to me. Does that not seem like it also would have been based on a John Grisham novel?
Oh, for sure. I could absolutely see it. And it does have Harrison Ford. And the incomparable Tommy Lee Jones. Who is really... this was his... Like, he was on a roll in the 90s, man.
Thomas Lee Jones. Okay.
Thomas Lee Jones is in this.
Thomas Lee Jones.
A post Under Siege, Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Yeah.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah.
Ooh, when are we doing Batman Forever on Movie Club?
Well, I would love to do the Batman movies in order, so we got a ways to go.
Should that... Oh, God. Okay. Justin, I feel like you should get to tell us what the number 1 is, because it's... I mean, it is one of the best movies ever made, in my opinion.
It's Jurassic Park, and it is one of my favorite movies ever made. And there's all these other movies, and then there's Jurassic Park. In a year where Jurassic Park comes out, like, nothing's gonna compare.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And you know what? Not nominated for any Oscars, which is just bullshit.
Well,
I guess it probably was nominated for like some
not
makeup
this year,
and stuff.
But it was this year. It was nominated for like some effects stuff, I believe.
Yeah, probably effects. Yeah.
God, what is there to say about Jurassic Park? Jesus. All-time classic. Absolutely going to be doing an episode on that. I
was just about to say, when are we doing a movie club on Jurassic Park? Yeah.
Probably very soon, I would imagine.
I feel like I've probably told this on the podcast before, and I know I tell people this, but in case no one has heard, when we were growing up, on our respective birthdays, we used to get to choose a pay-per-view movie for the family to buy, because it was much cheaper to rent a pay-per-view movie, of course, than it was to, go to the movies. And 1993, or maybe it was 94, I guess, whenever Jurassic Park came out. For your birthday, you chose Jurassic Park.
Damn right.
It would have been 94, okay. So for your ninth birthday...
I vividly recall seeing Jurassic Park in the theater. So.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember what movie theater it was at.
Okay, so the first time I saw Jurassic Park was when we rented it on your birthday. So no, I saw
it in the theater and then used my birthday choice to watch it again.
I did that as well, but with Blank Check.
You and Blank Check. What year was that? Why can't we talk about that one? Amy and Blank Check.
Justice for Blank Check. I've not seen it since then. I remember you tried to talk me into doing something else, and I was like, no. I'm like Lutz with the choosing lunch for the day. We're doing Blimpies.
No, it has to be Blank Check.
Which I had already seen.
We can only rent Blank Check.
Let's move on.
Okay.
We had the 65th Academy Awards in the year 1993.
Awards. Now, and again, some of these are dad movies, and some of them are very boring sounding.
Howard's End, you mean?
Yeah.
What even is that?
Like a Victorian romantic drama.
Oh.
No thanks.
No, thank you.
Not for you either?
This is the year that... Probably not, no. Like, maybe like a more modern one. Yeah, but probably not from 1993.
If it was Howard,
this is
Howard
the year
plus
that...
End.
I do not like Romeo plus Juliet.
Did you
My husband likes
that was a
Juliet.
thinker.
That was good. You're not letting me tell the world that this is the year that Marissa Tomei won the Oscar for My Cousin Vinny, which I've never seen.
What?
I know.
What the hell? Mm-hmm. We need to start keeping a list. Because...
We have a list.
Do we?
We have a list.
Oh.
I still have the In the Loop list.
Oh, okay.
Put My Cousin Vinny on it. What else won at the Oscars?
Unforgiven cleaned up at the Oscars that year, and I love Unforgiven, man.
Have I ever seen that?
I watched Unforgiven with you a couple years ago.
Then yes,
at your house, so I know you've seen it.
Is that the one with?
We did a Western double feature of Unforgiven and Tombstone at your house.
Tombstone's what I'm thinking of. Okay, that's the one.
Unforgiven is Clint Eastwood and Gene Hackman, who wins Best Supporting Actor this year, and then Morgan Freeman.
Okay, gotcha.
I love Unforgiven.
Big year for Gene Hackman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's Hackamania. Hackamania is running wild. This is kind of, this is the waning years of Hackman's career.
Yeah.
I support the fact that he was just like, got to a point and he was like, I am retiring, and I'm going to not have like any kind of public life.
Stop.
He's still alive. He's just retired.
He's very
living his best
alive.
life. Like, good for him.
I can't say I blame him. You had Al Pacino winning Best Actor for Scent of a Woman.
A movie. The only thing I know about Scent of a Woman is hoo-ah. That's where the Al Pacino hoo-ah thing comes from, is Scent of a Woman.
I'm gonna be honest, I thought that was just something Al Pacino did a lot. But no, it's from a movie.
You thought it was Pacino specific. Well, it is Pacino.
Yeah, I thought that it was just. I thought it was just some like kind of something he did, like like Michael Jackson. Would go,
no, it's from Scent of a Woman. Like a little catchphrase or a little like
kind of a quirk, like a little tick he would do, maybe
like a hee hee.
I did not realize that it was just from this. Did he continue doing it?
No,
in his regular life.
I don't think so. I think it. I mean, he probably did it, joking around or something, but
with his buddies,
with his just joshing with Robbie De Niro and
maybe Beverly D'Angelo
and Marty.
Sure. Well, Rob and Marty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that pretty much rounds it out. Emma Thompson wins for Howard plus End.
Howard,
but Justin.
The ones I put under others worth mentioning are really the ones worth mentioning because there's one or two dad movies in here, but it's mostly Cool Kids Club type of movies.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to run down. I'm going to run down.
Have listed here.
Yeah, I'm going to run them down. You ready?
I'll say
1993 at the movies. We had a lot of dad movies. We had Jurassic Park. We also had Free Willy.
The first movie I ever remember crying at was Free Willy.
Free Willy got you.
And I've not stopped since. Yeah.
Now, have you rewatched Free Willy as an adult, and did you cry?
I have not.
And if so, did you cry?
I haven't.
But you definitely will.
And I might.
Oh, you definitely.
Probably at least get a misty.
You definitely.
I remember being at Elaine's house watching Free Willy and like kind of trying to hide the fact that I was crying. Yeah. I'm a baby. What can you say? What else we got?
Cool Runnings. Cool
Runnings, man. I've never seen it.
Oh, Cool Runnings is great. What about Groundhog Day?
I watched that for the first time with you a couple years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I remember that now.
Yeah.
Demolition Man. You've not seen
That's
that.
A dad movie.
That's a bit. Yeah.
Has I? No, I have not.
You has not. You has not. Oh, okay. Last Action Hero.
I have not seen that, but I would really like to see that.
Okay.
That's like a fun Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's like plays like a figurine that's come to life or something, right?
He's an action movie character that comes out of the movies.
That's right. That's right. Comes out of the movies. Okay.
Yeah.
I've definitely seen the next one. We used to watch Dennis the Menace a lot. Like
we had it on tape. We had it recorded off of TV or something, and
big Walter Matthau household.
There was a lot of big, yeah. There was a lot.
Yeah, big grumpy and grumpier old men.
Mm-hmm. Real Matthau heavy.
Those chiclets for teeth. I think of that all the time.
Face like a
the chiclets for
baseball mitt.
I loved him. The Nightmare Before Christmas came out this year, Justin.
Yes, it did, and Hocus Pocus.
And we did not watch it until
Halloween
the
classics.
2000s. Oh my God, that's right.
Hocus
Adam's
Pocus
Family
came
Values
out and was not successful, and also it released in like May or something. Hocus Pocus
why
was
the hell would they have done
was
that?
a flop when it first came out. Like it wasn't. It was a cult following over the years.
Interesting.
And Adam's Family Values was this year. God, this was a good year for kids.
This was a very good year.
Dads and kids. Yeah. Sorry, moms. You got sorry, Howard.
Mom. They got
plus
Sleepless
End.
in Seattle.
They got Sleepless in Seattle and Howard plus End.
Howard
also probably 92.
Yeah,
winning Oscars this year.
Sorry, moms. Sorry, moms. We weren't doing a lot for moms in '93.
No, dads and kids are eating good though.
Yeah,
eating good in the neighborhood.
Justin. TMNT 3.
Yeah,
also
the bloom was off the rose, I think, by 93. This is like I was winding down the TMNT love. It was quickly being replaced by wrestling, and and TMNT 3 is just not good. I've watched it as an adult and tried to give it, the benefit of the doubt and view it through like nostalgia, and it's still just like. This is a slog thing. It's not very good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, that wraps up the movie portion of this episode. Do you want to move on to television?
Let's change the channel, if you will.
Oh, that was good.
Over to television.
That was good.
So after looking at the top 10 movies of the year, and I was like, wow, there's a lot of these that are like boring. Not boring, but like maybe not as fun to talk about on Cool Kids
serious dramas.
Serious dramas.
Or like political thrillers.
I was like, okay, well, what were the top TV shows of the year? You know what the top TV show of the year was? Goddamn 60 Minutes.
It's because all the boomers were dads.
Yeah,
moms.
well, that's true. Now I'll tell you,
boomers love 60 Minutes.
I'll tell you who was eating good in 1993 were fans of sitcoms, because you always
great
have
year for sitcoms.
You know, in the top TV shows, you always have like your big news programs, like a 60 Minutes or something.
Oh, sure,
like that.
yeah.
And then you've always got like football, like that's just
yeah, of course,
a given that's gonna be one of the
those
highest
kinds of
rated
things are gonna
But other than those things, like pretty much all the rest of the top 10 are sitcoms. So we've got here's this murderer's row of 1993 sitcoms. Home Improvement is the number 2. It's the number 1 scripted show in the country. No, it's you were like, Cookie Crisp.
I was getting
you were kind of howling a little. You were doing like a mournful dog.
Ow!
No, it was.
There we go. Okay. I got there.
We got you there.
This has just turned into us doing the Tim Taylor noise back and forth for 30 more minutes.
I could communicate in just Tim Toolman Taylor grunts.
Sounds. My favorite and yours, Seinfeld, of course, was going very strong in 93.
Seinfeld, 93 was kind of the year like Seinfeld blew up. It was getting really, really popular at this point. And this is when we're in like seasons 3, 4. So
oh man, some good
really
shit.
Really prod material. I've been on a
you
Seinfeld
get the
rewatch.
contest. Yeah,
I've been on a Seinfeld rewatch.
So
we're in season 5 currently.
Ooh.
I watched a lot. I am like just doing nothing all week. I watched so much Seinfeld yesterday. I'm on break. Break, baby.
We watched a lot of King of the Hill yesterday too. It's okay.
Yeah,
it happens.
So you've got
also,
Roseanne.
I love Roseanne.
Grace Under Fire. You've got.
Never watched Grace Under Fire.
I remember seeing it a little bit when it was on, but I don't remember a lot about it. You've got Coach, which I definitely watched.
Yeah. That was a dad show.
Show?
Our dad, specifically. Yeah.
The first season of Frasier.
Fuck yes, I love Frasier.
Oh, that's right. We're talking about Frasier on the podcast.
Justin, I'm listening.
Oh, well.
You like that?
That was nice. And the new mic. Yeah. The new mic is
and the new mic.
wonders.
I feel very Frasier with the new mic.
Very Frasier. Yeah, 93 is the debut of Frasier. One of the biggest debuts. So two of my all-time... God. Actually, several of my... a couple of my all-time favorite shows debut in 1993. The two biggest, I feel like, for me personally, Frasier and The X-Files. The X-Files was huge, man. I feel like The X-Files was like the spiritual successor to Twin Peaks. And
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, man, the first...
You know, I have now... I mean,
season.
Obviously, I've seen a lot of handfuls of episodes of X-Files, but never watched all of it. Never.
I would love to cover the X-Files.
Probably not seen the majority of it.
Here's the thing. It's good. Like, it's great for the first, like, I would say 5 seasons and through the first movie. And it takes a dive. It definitely does. But there's good stuff in the later seasons. There wasn't a whole lot I liked in the sequel series they did a couple years back.
Okay.
But even based on those 5 seasons, I would still count it amongst my favorite TV shows ever.
Wow.
It's really, really good. And formative for me as like a lover of all spooky things.
Yeah, sci-fi spooky stuff. Yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
One of my all-time favorite shows also debuted this year, Justin.
Oh,
and that
yes,
would be
it did.
The Nanny.
Damn. Yes, The Nanny.
Fucking love The Nanny.
Yeah, you do.
It went on streaming. It went on HBO a couple years ago, finally, and I had to rewatch it. And it's so funny. It's so good. I love it just as much as I always did. It's just great. I love The Nanny. Great show.
NYPD Blue, which I've never seen. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, which I've never seen.
No.
Boy Meets World starts in 1993.
Wow.
We were lit
with that original opening.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the OG opening. Yeah.
Yeah, with the world like spinning. Yeah.
Beavis and Butthead debuts. This is like, I feel like peak. I feel like when you look at the 90s, is definitely has at least like. I feel like there's like 3 eras of the 90s, right? So it's like you have like the super early 90s that are like more colorful, like more 80s.
Sure.
And then you have like the alt years, which I feel like
when Nirvana kind of becomes big, and
93 is when it really like probably the first like big year of that like alt movement, and we'll see it again when we do talk about music here in a second. That and then I think later then you have like kind of the TRL boy band.
Right, 96 you start to get into like 97 you start the Spice Girls, bubblegum pop.
Yeah, but Beavis and Butthead is just the
2000.
Quintessential alt to me, like the alt. What encapsulate
it's
those alt years?
It's a very Gen X show to me.
Yes, yeah.
Like,
Beavis and Butthead.
You know what I mean?
Beavis and Butthead, they were personas non gratas in our household, at least according to my mom. However, my dad did not care and would let me watch it. And what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Yeah,
I had a burned copy of the Beavis and Butthead album on CD.
Oh, wow.
And
Dad thought Beavis and Butthead was very funny.
It is
so,
very funny.
Of course, he was going to let you watch it. It's, really not my thing. So you can imagine.
It might be more your thing than you think. It is Mike Judge.
It is Mike Judge, and I do love King of the Hill. I mean, I remember watching Beavis and Butthead do America, and enjoying it.
I love the movie.
Tween.
The problem with trying to watch Beavis and Butthead nowadays is it's really hard to find the original episodes as they aired with the music videos, which is that's what I really want to see is like that was always my favorite part of Beavis and Butthead was them making jokes over the music videos like Mystery Science Theater or something.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I do remember that.
Now,
real quick, let's run through the rest of. This is a big one coming up here. Is
Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw
starts January 93. Yeah. That's a big one.
Which, of course, we went into detail on that in our wrestling episodes this past summer.
Yes.
But yeah, this is when it starts.
Still going.
Another one I didn't really get into was Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah,
I watched it a little bit.
Yeah, I watched it a little bit at the beginning, but I didn't. I didn't keep up with it at all. Yeah. There's a couple really iconic kids shows that debut in '93. Yes. Of course, we mentioned Boy Meets World, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Animaniacs. Rocko's Modern Life. Big one. Rocko's Modern Life becomes the 4th Nicktoon. And Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that is a good year.
Shit, yeah.
Oh, shit. Justin, a couple big things that happened in 1993 in television. You have not the first person to lose a job to Jay Leno, but also not the last. You have... You have The Late Show with David Letterman starts.
Yeah, this is when you have all the fallout from the late night drama.
The round 1, yeah. The late night drama. Version. Letterman was supposed to get the Tonight Show job, went to Jay Leno. So CBS gave him his own show. You were a big David Letterman fan.
93 is honestly a big year for me looking back at it like this, because I was a huge David Letterman fan, and I was a huge Conan O'Brien fan. So when Letterman leaves late night at NBC and goes and starts the Late Show opposite Leno, that's when Conan O'Brien comes in and starts late night.
Takes over. I loved Late Night with Conan O'Brien.
I cannot tell you how many nights in high school and in college.
Late nights?
Late nights. I would stay up and I would watch David Letterman and then Conan.
Yeah. Remember you had those David Letterman joke books? Like, before we had ever really watched the show, because, like, the top 10 list, that's what it was. You had 2 books of his top 10 lists. Mm-hmm. Do you still have those, you think?
Mm-hmm. I've got some more now, too. I found a couple more at a used bookstore a few years ago.
I still think of that joke, and I don't remember the context at all, but the, I feel like you know what I'm about to say. The airline employees carrying the fuel in their cupped hands.
I believe it was.
Do you remember that joke?
I believe it was like top 10 things you don't want to see if you're waiting on the tarmac.
Yeah, or something like that. Bringing fuel to the plane in their cupped hands. I remember that just even before we had watched David Letterman, because this is when we still lived in Florida. I remember you had those books.
Oh yeah.
So the top 10 list. Another huge thing that happened in 1993 is Food Network debuted.
Food Network, the TV Food Network, which was originally the name, apparently.
Oh, okay.
Which seems unnecessary. I know I'm watching TV.
I'm glad they dropped it. It's a little cleaner now.
Yeah.
That's so weird to think of a time before Food Network existed. It's just so everywhere.
I vaguely remember it debuting.
Yeah.
Kind of being a thing. It was a new number on the channel when you were going through. Just raised on that TV.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, that guide channel.
And I think I'm fine. I'm doing okay.
I'm doing great.
I'm doing great. I'm thriving.
I am doing really good. Let's switch gears. Big time, because we need to get into some of the hard-hitting stories of 1993, Justin.
Well, so looking at the headlines in 1993, there's a lot of similarities with looking at the headlines today, and I think it's so interesting how you can see you can see today's news in the news from 30 years ago. So, on the American side, we get a new president, Bill Clinton, in January. He wins the election in 92. Now, that's the first election I vividly remember. I remember Mom and Dad watching debates on TV. That was the one with Ross Perot. And
oh yeah, I feel like I remember them making fun of Ross Perot on SNL. Mm-hmm.
Mom and Dad voted for Ross Perot, I'm pretty sure, in 92.
Really?
I believe so. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I think they did.
There's a figure that's hard to explain to someone who probably wasn't there. Ross Perot.
Ross Perot.
But no, listen, we have within a couple days in February, we get 2 big events, and I'm just thinking about current stuff and how it's just so similar. We get the first World Trade Center bombing on February 26th, which is where they parked the van in the parking garage below and detonated it and killed 6 people. So that was the first attack on the World Trade Center. And then 2 days later, you have the raid of the Branch Davidian compound. Oh, wow. And, David Koresh and the Branch Davidians in Waco. And then, you have that, you have the whole shootout and the siege that goes on for a couple months that ends in fire and
I was going to say, so is that when they'd already been there. That's just when the raid started.
They started the raid. They raided it. They had a warrant to arrest David Koresh on firearms
Yeah.
charges, I believe.
That's right.
And it ended in a big standoff and shootout, and 5 or 6 ATF guys died, and several of the group died, and it ended in it ended in this big 51-day standoff between the ATF and the group that ended in the place burning down and David Koresh dying and a lot of people dying. So
a lot of people died. Children. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yay!
So we've got terrorism. We've got
kind of a bummer year.
Cult stuff. Yeah, kind of a bummer year. I mean, you have Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That becomes a big thing. So that
is a big thing.
That's a bummer. I guess if you look at it in a historical context, it's progress. It would be a bummer today.
That's interesting.
And I get why people thought it was a bummer at the time as well. I get why people thought that, but I do think it was sort of a compromise, even though it really was just kind of kicking the can down the road.
It was, yeah, absolutely. A couple other things that happened. As far as like politics, you had NAFTA, which passed.
NAFTA, that's huge. That's the biggest legislation I would say of Clinton's administration, and that has fundamentally changed a lot of stuff. Some of it not for the good. But yeah, November is when we get the finalization of NAFTA, and then we also get, before they go on break, the Brady Bill, the Handgun Violence Act, which saved a lot of lives, probably. And then you also have Ruth Bader Ginsburg sworn in.
Yeah, that's right.
The beginning of her term. So, God, she was in there, 20?
She died in 2020, right?
Mm-hmm.
2020.
Yeah, so just under 30 years.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
And then we have celebrities being weird. We have the first of the Michael Jackson accusations. This is another big story that happens that year.
That was huge. Yeah, that was a very big deal.
That was big. Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah,
that was when it felt the bloom was off the rose for MJ too.
Oh, certainly.
Things had changed so much.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And actually, sadly, that year, River Phoenix died that year.
Two deaths. I don't want to make the
two
joke
deaths.
when talking about real
that's not
deaths.
fun. No,
not as fun.
Yeah, no.
But the same week, we have River Phoenix. He dies. He ODs outside a club in L.A. And then on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, a couple days before that, you lose the iconic Vincent Price of lung cancer, even though he never smoked.
What?
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
That's quite unfortunate. Well,
bummer of a year.
A bit of a bummer. It sucks because so much of the news was a bummer and so much of the TV was good.
That's true. Yeah, well, at least we had Roseanne and Seinfeld and Home Improvement. At least we had
Seinfeld. That's right. Well, let's move on then from that.
You want to throw it over to Champ for a little bit of sports, and then we're going to talk about music.
Whammy!
Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it! Basketball, gimme the ball because I'm gonna dunk it! Basketball, gimme.
Whammy! It's Super Bowl 27! The Buffalo Bills became the first team to lose 3 consecutive Super Bowls because they are the Buffalo Bills. And they are beaten by the Dallas Cowboys 52-17. And that was...
That's unfortunate, guys.
Yeah, that was back when the Cowboys were
good. They're still bad.
Yeah, the Cowboys are bad now, too.
Right?
Yeah.
The Cowboys are bad now.
Blue Jays win the World Series. They beat the Phillies. I was always a Phillies guy because that was our minor league.
Because they did, yeah.
Minor league team in Florida. But the Blue Jays also.
Well, and also they did, the Phillies did their spring training with us, right? Or was it the Blue Jays that did their spring training?
I think both. Yeah. A lot of baseball teams do spring training down there. In '93, you had this is Michael Jordan mania. This is
I was gonna say
this is their third year in a row as champions. The Chicago Bulls under Michael Jordan beat the Phoenix Suns, led by Charles Barkley. This is a year. This is a year right here. The Bulls become the first team since the Celtics in the '60s to win 3 consecutive championships. This was everywhere. Like, you could not.
I was gonna say, even for us who were not even into sports,
Michael Jordan and the Bulls were such sports is a huge part of popular culture, but that whole, particularly him, really transcended media and genres, and I mean, it was just everywhere.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and watching him do incredible things it still never gets old to me.
What's Michael Jordan doing these days? Laying low. I've not seen him in a Fruit of the Loom or a Hanes commercial.
I don't think he does much of anything anymore. There was that big Netflix series with him about him a couple years ago. But I haven't watched
the
it.
Last Dance. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't watched it either. Remember when he started doing baseball and then he did golf?
Yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah, baseball.
That was weird.
Yeah, baseball. Michael Jordan. Really, anything after the first retirement is weird.
Yeah,
it's weird.
It is weird. In other sports, what else was going on? We had the Stanley Cup.
So we had the Stanley Cup. I'm not going to act like I know anything about hockey. I don't know anything about hockey. The Montreal Canadiens beat the Los Angeles Kings. I don't know. Okay. Here's two things that are more on my.
Here's what you know.
Much more on my wavelength than 1993. The classiest of the sports. You could argue that they are even sports because they're really not. Wrestling and NASCAR. And those were the two things I was caring about in 1993.
Listen,
along with like the
our
Chicago
parents
Bulls.
loved NASCAR.
Yes. In wrestling that year, the main event of WrestleMania was Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, which, if you recall from our New Generation episode, somehow is won by Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. So,
not even one of the guys.
Not even one of the fucking guys. 1993 is a huge year for my wrestling fandom. Not a good year.
Yes.
By like historical standards.
Just a huge year
for me. Like. This was when I was like 100% on board with it. Like, I was in it with the toys and the magazines.
You had bought in completely.
I had bought in. Yeah. And then honestly, like, to a lesser degree, but to a significant degree, was NASCAR. Like, NASCAR was a big thing for us.
Yeah, because we watched a lot of NASCAR.
It was big in Florida in the 90s. Yeah. And Dale Earnhardt won his 6th championship that year, and I was, I won't speak ill of Dale, but I was raised to be a Dale. I was raised to be a Dale Earnhardt hater.
That is true. We were raised in a Bill Elliott household.
We were raised in a Ford household.
Stood for first on race day.
First on race day. Found on the road, dude.
Nope. First on race day. Yeah, we were raised in a Ford household. Dodge was sometimes acceptable.
Mm-hmm. Pontiac also sometimes acceptable. Not. Chevy, absolutely not.
Pontiac. Because Mark Martin drove a Pontiac, didn't he?
No. Well, he may have at some point.
No? Okay.
Now,
yeah.
This is
Dale
a
Earnhardt,
super niche conversation I feel like to have about our childhood, but it's very true.
Mm-hmm. It is very true.
Yeah, like we went to like see the racetracks. I had all the little like and I still have them, NASCAR comic books. I've got the diecast cars. Yeah. I've got like it was a big deal. The t-shirts.
Yeah.
I have so many NASCAR t-shirts.
Oh. And it's weird because it didn't seem like a quote-unquote redneck thing when we were little.
But it was.
But it absolutely still was. It still was, even though we were in Florida. Like, there absolutely are Florida rednecks.
Even though, like, they're, like, Florida's maybe the most redneck state.
I think... Right, but everybody thinks rednecks is like Southern Appalachia where we live. Do you know what I'm saying?
No, that's
like,
hillbillies.
People don't think of rednecks.
That's hillbillies. It is. A hillbilly is like mountain people. A redneck can be from anywhere.
Mountain
you can have
folk.
Florida rednecks. You've got Tennessee rednecks here. You've got rednecks up north. You've got rednecks out west. You've got rednecks all over the world.
Yeah, and the common denominator, they all love NASCAR.
They all love NASCAR, and they all love Dale.
And you know what was great, and this hadn't happened yet. I'm sure he was racing maybe, but he hadn't become a big thing. You know what was one thing that Ford and Chevy people could get behind?
Hating
Jeff Gordon.
Yeah. That was it. That was it.
That was it.
That was the olive branch over to the Chevy guys.
It was. It was like, man, I don't like your guy, but could you fucking believe that pretty boy?
That pretty boy Jeff Gordon.
Oh, yeah.
I 100% would do an episode about just my NASCAR memories. That would be a lot of fun.
Just 90. That should be an extra cool.
That should be yep.
Not exactly enough to do, but just like, let's talk about NASCAR memories.
Put it on the list.
And share photos and home videos we have.
I did find our home video of our track tour of Daytona, like us getting a tour on the Speedway.
Yes.
And then also like in the gift shop and stuff.
This is amazing. On a bit more of a bummer note, because we love doing that.
Yeah, bummer.
Actually, 1993 was a bit of a sad year in NASCAR because you also had the deaths of Alan Kawicki and Davey Allison.
Yeah, and I remember that was big. And then, Alan Kawicki, he died not too far from where we ended up. Like,
because there's a whole era, or like a whole wing of our track that's Alan Kawicki.
Our local track.
We have a pretty big deal track.
We do. It is one of the big deal ones. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the fastest half mile if you want to look at it.
We just got ourselves via Bristol.
It's okay. That's okay.
I cut that.
We've talked about where
Cut
we
that.
live.
Get that.
Yeah, it's all right.
Hey,
you know what? If you want to find me, that's fine.
Come and get it.
Let's move on to mute. Come and
get it.
Let's move on to music to end this out.
All right.
What do you think?
I think that there was so much going on in music, and I don't think that things like I'm looking at the top 10, like the Billboard top 10, and some of it's very emblematic, but also some of it is like you're looking at kind of like how I was kind of talking about that, like there's like eras of the 90s. So like the number 2 song of the year is Whoop, There It Is. Right? And I'm just like, and then I'm looking at the albums that are coming out. Right, so like in 19, so let's look at like hip hop and R&B first. So in the top 10,
I was gonna say there's a lot of hip hop and R&B on the top 10.
This was the year that Snoop Dogg appeared on the cover of Vibe, and it said 1993, the year hip hop and R&B took over the world. I remember that. And so
okay.
but like looking at the top 10 for the year, and then looking at the album, like the new stuff that was coming out, it's like this is the year of change, because you've got like just in the top 10, Whoop, There It Is, Tag Team, Back Again, Rump Shaker by Rex and Effects. You've got Informer by Snow. Do you remember Snow?
A white rapper,
Canadian rapper,
yeah, of course.
Yes, with
whose name was Snow.
Snow.
That's great.
I remember his album was called like 12 Inches of Snow.
Oh my God, was it really? You know it was like 5. At least. Yeah. That was it was 5 max.
So that's the kind of stuff you've got in the top 10. And then you've also got, of course, like I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston. That's the number 1 song of the year from The Bodyguard.
Of course. You've got Janet Jackson, Mariah Carey, again with the R&B.
Again, R&B taking over the world, yeah. Yeah, Janet Jackson and Mariah Carey especially. But then, like...
What the hell is Freak Me?
I don't remember.
Do I know that
Freak
one?
Freak Me by Silk.
Now I gotta...
Now you gotta play it.
That seems like it would be R&B.
I think you should insert a clip of it right
let's... It is sexy R&B.
Okay. So yeah,
about
sexy R&B.
Getting freaked.
Sexy R&B, and like whoop, there it is. And
I don't know what
Me.
Week is either.
I don't know that one either.
It's a lot of R&B.
It is a lot of R&B, yeah.
Yeah.
But then like you have like several big like milestone hip hop albums come out this year. So I feel like you see the change in songs like Whoop There It Is and Rump Shaker being in and Snow being in the top 10. But then in 93 you get A Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. You get Enter the Wu-Tang, 36 Chambers,
oh my
and
gosh,
you get Doggy Style, Snoop Doggy Dogg. So it's just like this.
Yeah, the change starts to happen.
Yeah, like I feel like by 92, 93 there was that the corporatized kind of cleaned up kid friendly or not, maybe not kid friendly, but like kind of goofy Whoop There It Is, Rump Shaker. And it had kind of it was kind of passe. It was becoming passe.
Your jock jams.
But then you have like things like Wu-Tang and like the gangster rap like really like taking over.
Yeah. But so you still have like that's the year that Siamese Dream came out. Smashing Pumpkins, In Utero, Nirvana. Like you still have
Alt is kind of, this is sort of maybe the last great year of grunge, because you do have In Utero, you do have Siamese Dream.
Yeah.
You have Pearl Jam, you have the Breeders. But you've also got, and I think it's also a cool thing to see here. So you've got, I feel like women are becoming really heavily represented, because you already have like hit makers like Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston and those that kind of singer, performer,
like ballads kind of art,
but then you also, and then you have the Breeders, and then but you've got like some big debut albums that year. The first Bjork album, the first Liz Phair album, the first Sheryl Crow album. This is the year that Sarah McLachlan starts like this is kind of what that planted the seeds of Lilith Fair was in 93.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh my God, Lilith Fair.
And then Radiohead, you get the first Radiohead album, which is Pablo Honey, and that's kind of like it feels like we're moving from grunge into what would become kind of probably I would define more alt rock, because Nirvana's done by early 94 when Cobain dies.
Yeah.
And Pearl Jam's still doing stuff, but I feel like
their heyday was sort of ending.
And evolving into
they were,
and then we're seeing things like Radiohead and these new bands that are gonna sort of, and like in the next year we're gonna see like in 94 is Weezer's first album and stuff like that, kind of that.
It's a little more weird.
Yeah. And we're
alt,
a little more alt.
Yeah.
But a great year for music, particularly because of Rump Shaker.
A very good year for music. Well, I think you're not giving Whoop There It Is enough credit.
Right.
Or Freak Me. Also, let's not... The Mariah Carey song is Dream Lover, by the way.
That's a great song.
Which is a fucking bop.
That is a great song.
Mariah Carey had a lot of bops. Had a lot of good ones in her career.
She does more than just the Christmas song.
Yeah, it's you're unaware. Yeah. She had like a whole fucking career before.
That's weird that's where she has kind of settled in her later years.
I know that's what she's like known for.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god, she had so many hits.
Yeah. She had some good ones. Honey.
Yeah, she. Ooh.
I mean, I was a young man during Mariah Carey's prime. I was well aware of Mariah Carey.
Oh,
a young man.
What was
a young strapping man?
The one she did with Boys to Men.
Oh shit.
One Sweet Day.
Yes.
Oh god, that's a good one.
That is, yeah.
They did that when, of course, Mariah Carey wasn't there. When we saw Boys to Men this summer, of course, they did that one, and I was like, oh my god.
Did they bring you up on stage to sing the Mariah Carey part?
They did. Yeah, they did. It was a really big deal. I hit all those whistle notes. I was like, yeah.
That was great. Thank you.
It was a pretty big deal.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Now that was pretty much 1993 in a nutshell. What were we doing in 1993? I was in like...
Oh, that's a good... Okay.
I would have started, let's see.
Yeah, what...
In 93, I guess I would have started 3rd grade, right? I would have started 3rd grade.
I would have been
with
first.
Miss Turvey and Miss
Shout out
Collins, I believe, with the very long fingernails.
This would have been 1st grade with Miss Stauffer.
Oh, I had Stauffer. She was a good one.
Yeah,
she was a good one.
Miss Stauffer. Shout out Miss Stauffer. Yeah. Oh man, and it was Miss Collins and Miss Turvey. Yeah, absolutely.
In 3rd grade, yeah, that's what I was doing. I was watching a lot of wrestling. I was on the come down from the Turtles, from the initial come down. There would be many more come downs.
Well,
over the years,
because you've come back up.
Yeah. I have risen for the Turtles.
You are atop Turtle Mountain now.
But I mean, honestly, my life in 1993 was like Weird Al and WWF wrestling and like Batman the Animated Series and all of those cartoons, and plus you had the Nicktoons
Goosebumps
were on now, and Goosebumps. This was like the first year Goosebumps was like, it started in like 92, but this was like it became a big massive sensation in 93. So that's what I think of when I think of 93.
Goosebump Mania.
Goosebumps, wrestling, yeah.
Man.
The tragic death of Alan Kulwicki.
That's not funny.
No.
Oh. Let's see. My 1993, I would have been 1st grade. Probably reading a lot of Babysitter's Club Little Sister books.
Okay.
Probably still wanted to be a vet, just because I like kitties and puppies. You know, I feel like every little girl
I would say
goes through that.
My first job, that's a great one, first jobs, because my first one I recall was paleontologist, which was probably really...
the love of the dinosaurs.
The love of the dinosaur, which precedes Jurassic Park for me, but I would say that picked up steam. Because I remember eventually, once the X-Files became big, the dream changed to FBI agent who investigates paranormal phenomena. Yeah.
You just wanted to be a ghost hunter, basically.
No, I wanted to be an FBI guy. I wanted to be Mulder.
You wanted to kiss Scully.
You don't?
I would. Oh, no, I'm really straight.
Yeah,
but I'd kiss Mulder more.
That's a spooky sandwich I would not mind being in the middle of. Speaking of spooky sandwiches, my New Jersey Michaels is going to be here any minute.
I was just about to say. Well, then we better wrap this up. You got New Jersey Michaels on the way. I need to figure out how to
back on the Mike's on his way.
Wrap it up. Well, gosh, guys. I hope that you enjoyed our very first year in Cool. Hopefully we'll be doing these for years to come.
This was fun and different.
Yeah. So let us know what you think. Give us some feedback. Did you enjoy this?
Absolutely. And I did want to mention that I believe we've set the tradition now that our first episode of the year is our season premiere, which would make this our season finale.
Ooh, should we throw in a cliffhanger?
Well, that's what I was kind of thinking.
What if we just end it?